All right. Good evening, everyone. I hope y'all can hear me okay and that you're able to see the screen up here. I'm so glad that y'all are here tonight. This is great. Tonight's Zoom, this is all being recorded to make sure that everybody who is not able to come to this meeting, that they're able to tune in anyhow at a later time. My name is Leah Keys, and I am Crosstown High's college and career advisor. And right now is a hot season for college planning. And tonight I'm here to talk with you all about the financial aid and scholarships. And this is a really dense meeting. Like the content is really dense. There's a lot. So I encourage you all to be on the lookout for the video of this Zoom, because I want to make sure that if you have questions, you can come back and refer to the video, and I'll also have resources for you all. But I just really want y'all to know I really appreciate you being here. I know that like this is not, like this is an important time of day, being with family, and you're here getting the good information so that you can responsibly plan. So I want to just let y'all know the things that we're going to talk about tonight that I'm going to talk about. And of course, you all are welcome to ask questions in the chat. But the things that we'll talk about tonight are different types of financial aid. I'll go over all the different categories, how you would apply for that. And then, like I said, I'll offer some resources. And I think that you all will be glad to hear about like the immediate actions that you can take right now, because I know that both students and parents are, just kind of wondering like, what do I need to be doing? How can I make sure that, I'm being wise and practical in planning for this? And it's really challenging because there are so many unknowns. But I often ask students to hold the vision, to trust this process. And they find that it does work out. So I'm glad that you all are here to get the information and find out what you can be doing today in order to plan for what's next. So just so you know, we're all here on Zoom tonight. There will be another Zoom on Wednesday, November 29th. And in that Zoom, I'm going to talk a little bit more in depth about the FAFSA form. That's the free application for federal student aid. And that meeting is going to be at 5:30 as well. I'll make sure you have the information, before you leave this meeting. But that is an application and an online form that I think it can be intimidating for parents and for students. I want to talk a little bit more about it and about what we know, and so that way we can make sure that you all have all of the information, but you don't have to stay in this meeting for like 2 hours, because that would be terrible. It would be like school in 2020 when all of these wonderful students started high school. So we don't want to do that. So there will be another meeting on the 29th, on Wednesday the 29th, and I'll talk about that and offer resources, and also let you know what the immediate action is. But yeah, I want to make sure that you all feel like you have some information and you know where to start. So I'm going to start first by talking about the types of financial aid. And the first category that I always go over is grants. And that is money that the federal government grants for students who are attending colleges and career schools and different universities. Grants, unlike loans, which is another type of financial aid that I'll talk about in a moment, but grants, unlike loans, do not have to be repaid. It is money that is given to students. And the one that we often hear about for high school students, or really for anybody going into college, is a Pell Grant. PELL is the name of that grant. And and grants are included when you fill out the FAFSA form. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later, but this is just the one type of financial aid. And yes, we like that it does not have to be repaid. The second type is loans. And I realize there's a lot of text on the screen. You don't have to like memorize it. It's just there. Loans, as we know, can cover the cost of college or career school. And there are both federal and private loans. Federal loans tend to be more flexible, and they actually have like the interest rates are usually better on federal loans. And sometimes for some people, depending on what they're studying and where they're studying and the experience that the educational experience that they feel is the best fit for them, sometimes a loan is the best thing. Loans also, there are two types of loans. There's a subsidized and an unsubsidized loan. I'll talk a little bit more in detail about that in the FAFSA Zoom at our next meeting on the 29th. But just so you know, like this is another category of financial aid. All right. And then there's also the work study opportunity, and that's where the students get to work part-time and basically work in the field that like they're most interested in studying. So it's related to their course of study. So, you know, it's a little bit, it's different. Well, I was thinking about, like on-campus jobs, but I think that this is more specific to community service and getting off of campus. So work study is another opportunity for students to be able to make money to pay for their tuition. And this is also, you know, something that is a FAFSA, you know, we'll start with the FAFSA form. That'll be the first place where we work on that. Okay. Scholarships, the big question. Everybody is asking, where do I find them? How do I find them? They don't grow on trees. They don't fall out of the sky. There actually are two types of scholarships. We have institutional scholarships. That means like from the college itself, and then private scholarships. And those are the scholarships that like we've always kind of heard of being offered from like the Rotary Club or, you know, community organizations who have the opportunity to give back to their community. And that's one of the ways that they do that is by offering private scholarships. It's interesting, like there are those that are open now, you know, there are applications. I'm looking around me because I had one of them sitting up here a moment ago, but there are plenty of private scholarship applications that are open right now. When those come across my desk, I usually post them in school links. I'm a little bit behind on that and I need to work on it. I think I probably have about 4 or 5 that I need to add, and I will. But that way students can go ahead and apply for those. And then there will be more scholarships, private scholarships that open up throughout the rest of this school year. And I think you all have heard me say before, like how weird and backwards this whole process is in terms of the way that we've been socialized to make a purchase, where we're filling out applications and making plans, yet we don't know the cost, like the exact cost, which is not like when you're going to buy a coffee and you know how much it costs, or a pair of shoes, whatever. Anyhow, for the rest of the year, these private scholarships are going to periodically open up their applications and students can apply. I always send information out to seniors, whether it is through Canvas or email or school links. Like those are great resources for them so that they can apply for scholarships. And they fill them out like even into the end of this school year, like into April. And those tend to be like a little bit smaller amounts. Like it is not like, you know, a full ride, generally speaking, when you apply for a private scholarship. But those small amounts add up, and you can stack those up on top of other federal aid that you will receive, as well as potential scholarships from the college, like from the actual institutions. And so I just want to make it like emphasize here that when it comes to scholarships, really, truly, the primary source for the scholarship is the college itself. to which your students are applying. Some of you parents, some of your students have applied to colleges, they have been accepted and been offered money, which is fabulous. That's exciting. And we're gonna, like, once we get through the FAFSA application and you have an actual like solid financial offer, then you can line them up and see like, okay, this place has given me the best deal, but this is the school that maybe like I have my heart set on that really has the program that I want, and they're giving me a little less. And then, you know, we'll get to a point where we talk a little bit about negotiating all of that. But that's a few miles ahead. So just know that the primary source for the scholarship is going to be the college. Secondary sources are the private scholarships. And scholarships are generally like in two more categories. You know, I'm categorizing everything, and they're usually either need-based or merit-based, or sometimes both. Need-based is based on your family's income, and merit-based is based on your students' hard work at school and how that reflects probably in their grade point average. So just know that that's the two criteria that a lot of different organizations as well as institutions are looking at when they're considering your student for a scholarship. All right, so scholarships in Tennessee that are like name brand, that you hear them a lot, are the Hope Scholarship, the Tennessee Promise Scholarship. Some people have heard of the UT Promise Scholarship, and then the Memphis Promise Scholarship. And I will say it drives me a little nuts that they're all promises, because that makes it really confusing to differentiate between them. I'll start with the Hope Scholarship. That is a scholarship that's offered to graduates of high schools that are located in Tennessee. And it is based on either their ACT score being a minimum of 21, or they're graduating, like their end of year grade point average being a 3.0 or above. And so it could be either or. You don't have to have both. And the Hope Scholarship is usually, that's funny, they didn't add it together on here, sorry. But it's usually like they offer a certain amount to freshmen and sophomores, and then a certain amount to juniors and seniors in college. And that, you know, it's basically like $4,500 for a year. We don't have to, like, you know, split hairs over numbers right now. And I certainly don't want anybody to like pull out their calculator and start calculating all of that, because you know, like it's reflected in the financial offer that you get from different colleges when you apply in Tennessee. So and I'll talk a little bit about how to apply as well next, or 2 weeks from now, when we come back to Zoom and we talk about completing the FAFSA in December. The second scholarship that's on here is Tennessee Promise. All of our seniors have already filled it out. You have no need to worry about completing that. It's already done. The UT Promise is a scholarship that is specifically for students who are applying to go to UT Chattanooga, UT Martin, and UT Knoxville. And it is a last dollar scholarship, and it's a need-based scholarship. And so it depends on your family's income as to whether or not you qualify or like you're eligible for it. And the same with the Memphis Promise. That is a scholarship that's called a last dollar scholarship. It's from University of Memphis. And that is one that students who are specifically going to University of Memphis will qualify for. You know, you filling out the FAFSA. That's what we do, is just we fill out the FAFSA. And if there's a need for a separate scholarship, like I usually let students know, like if they need to fill out a different application or a form. So, you know, everybody sees the scholarships on here and it's like, okay, well, what do I do? How do I apply? So truly, to get into this process of the financial aid part, Of course, you have to submit applications to colleges, and we have lots of seniors who have, and lots of seniors who are who have set the intention and are working on their applications actively right now. I always tell people, if I'm very quiet, if you don't hear a lot from me, it's probably because we all are very focused and that's what I see a lot of now. At one point today, I looked around the room and there were 9 students here in my classroom. And I normally, don't have a lot of people working in here, but there were 11 of them in here, and they were all quiet and focused on working on applications and checking their student portals in different colleges where they had applied. It was really a beautiful moment. Anyhow, we got to get those applications submitted. That's number one. And then, there's another financial aid form. It's called the CSS profile. And some colleges ask for students who are applying to fill that out. It's a lot. I've noticed that it's a lot of private colleges, but not like all or entirely all private. But I know that it's similar to the FAFSA, a little bit simpler. And also it's not required per se. My family actually didn't fill it out last year. But I do think that it's a good thing to go ahead and fill out, because you never know what you're going to qualify for. So not all colleges require it. It's run by the College Board website, which is also the website that your students have used, like when they've taken an AP course. And so they have accounts and they know how to navigate it. But yeah, if you have any questions about the CSS profile, and that is like if your college actually wants it, because most of them don't. It's only a handful who ask for it. We'll say, like, if students really want to qualify for aid, like, go ahead and fill it out. So I recommend just check to see if it's something that they accept. The third way to apply for grants and all kinds of scholarships is to fill out the FAFSA. And this year is different because the FAFSA application usually opens in October, but this year it's opening in December. And it's kind of interesting. They haven't announced the actual date yet. I'm hopeful that it's December 1st. That would be really nice. But even if we don't know exactly what day it is, you and your student and your senior are going to have the information that you need to be able to fill it out if it does open on the 1st. We'll be back on Zoom on November 29th, talking specifically about filling out that form. And then also your senior is going to have some work that they'll do here to help get them ready, to help set them up. So just know that we're going to get to it. It's a form that, like I said, some folks find intimidating. And I filled it out last year, and I look forward to seeing what it looks like this year. It's been simplified, is what they call it. So I think they've just redesigned it so that it's a more efficient and still comprehensive, but more efficient. And it's not 100 and some odd questions. It's only a handful. So that'll hopefully be helpful. Okay, number 4 on here, the Tennessee Promise, big green check mark. Your seniors are done. They've already done that. The UT Promise, the deadline is December 15th. And again, that's a need-based scholarship. So if you wonder if you would qualify, it doesn't hurt to apply for that. And, your student can Google UT Promise and you'll see the application. It's super easy and really quick. And then number 6 on here for scholarships, I do recommend checking the colleges that you're applying to, checking their website first to see like in their financial aid section or in their like tuition section, like what the options are. I was on Rhodes College's website earlier today with a couple of students talking about the Bonner Scholarship and the Day Scholarship, which are really fabulous and unique opportunities. The Day Scholarship being the hometowner one, where they offer a large, I think it's $35,000 a year to any student who is graduating from a high school in Memphis. And all of our kids are exactly that. So it's a good thing to check the website because you never know what you'll find. And then also, like I mentioned, now and then in the coming months too, there are going to be more and more scholarships that come across, your kids' Canvas or come across their school links. And I even hang up the flyers in my room, and I always recommend for students to stop in and ask, and I'll point them in that direction. They can scan the QR code and start the process of filling them out. So just know that is another opportunity as well. Okay. Are you guys okay? I hope you're okay. I know this is a lot. It's really dense, but we're getting to it. I'm going to move on now to some resources that I want to offer you all. The federal student aid, which is, that's like it's one of the names that the federal government uses to talk about the money that they offer for financial aid for college. Federal student aid has a fabulous YouTube channel that has tons of videos that they're just so helpful when it comes to the questions that a lot of us have about FAFSA. And again, I'm going to talk more about the FAFSA application when we meet again on November 29th. But if you're curious now, you're welcome to go and look up that Federal Student Aid YouTube channel and, scroll through some videos, get some information about subsidized and unsubsidized loans. And that's definitely like something that you can put on, while you're cooking and just kind of listen to. It's just a great resource. I think it's really, really helpful. School Links, which is our software platform here that we use for managing college applications and college planning. They also have what's called a learning section. It's just called learning. And they have a full section on paying for college. And so there are videos and then like fun little surveys that you can fill out if you want to. Your student definitely has access to all of that. If as a parent you log in and you don't have access to that, I'll fix that. But also you can always look over your student's shoulder, since they have their iPad there at home. It's charged, right? Right, students? You're charging your iPad. There's also a scholarship section in School Links, and I periodically will add scholarships in there. Like I said, I've been a little bit behind on that because we've been focused so deeply on filling out these applications and getting them into admissions officers so that we can get notification back. So the energy is high here right now toward submitting applications and celebrating when we are accepted. But yeah, we're definitely going to turn our attention to the financial part in the coming weeks. The other option always is a resource. I am here. Your seniors are meeting with me. They are coming in and meeting with me. Today was another busy day, like all day long. There are students meeting with me. And then I also have office hours on Wednesdays from 3 to 4. So for some students, like maybe their schedule is just really, really intense and they can't, that maybe they're like, I don't want to miss my calculus class. It's just, I got to be there. That's okay. Plan to come and see me at 3 on Wednesday and hang out for a little bit. We can check a few things off the list. And then, everybody can feel like there's a little bit more room to breathe. Okay. So these are I'm switching to immediate actions. because we all want to know, okay, what can I do today? I know that I've told you we're going to do this in the coming weeks or in December or what. This is what you can do today. Okay. And I'm going to start with the first one, which is you can create an FSA ID. That is the federal student aid website, and it's studentaid.gov. And that is also the website where eventually in the coming weeks, we will actually do the FAFSA application. But to prepare for it, you can go ahead and create an FSA ID. And I just want to give y'all a heads up about creating an FSA ID, which is that it is an extremely secure platform. So, when we think about creating an account with any online entity, we're confirming something via email or verifying via text message using a code. Sometimes some websites will say, well, why don't you set a PIN, right? Or a challenge question. So those were all ors, like, it's one or the other. With the federal student aid website, they layer them all on top of each other. And so you end up feeling like you're filling out the FAFSA just to create an account. So just know that when you go to create the account, there are lots and lots of layers of security. So yes, you will create a password. That's fine. Then you're going to verify something using your phone number. Then and each parent is going to create their own account. Like that is something that is different with the FAFSA this year, is that they would like for each parent to create their own account. And then the young person will have their own account as well. So like I said, that's one way that you can feel like, okay, present me is looking out for future me. Fill out the create an account section, but don't fill out the actual FAFSA form yet, because the application, like I said, will open in December, date to be determined. There are a few documents that are required when you do fill out the FAFSA. If you know where your tax return from 2022 is, again, 2022 is the one that we want, the one from last year. If you know where that is, maybe get it out, set it aside, put it on a bookshelf where and you'll remember where it is, because you will need that. And then if you are a person who has any like investments, you'll want to have a statement from that nearby, just accessible, because you'll need that eventually. So you don't have to have that today or even by the 29th when we meet again, but just know that that will be something that you'll need to have. As far as scholarships go, you all are, of course, like I encourage students to go and seek out scholarships. I have tons of scholarship books for students who are curious. And of course, like there are scholarship tools online. Often, especially if they're filling out a scholarship application that is a no essay application, it kind of feels like you're entering a sweepstakes. And that's kind of what it is. But people win those, so it could be worth it. I just recommend, checking around, and even just for students to come and see me just to talk about them and talk about this process and where, of course, they're going to find those scholarships on their college's website. And then, obviously we'll seek out some more in the coming weeks. Also add that FAFSA Zoom that we're going to have on the 29th. This is the little flyer for it. If you need to, snap a picture of it or take a screenshot, just so that you can add it to your calendar, so that you can make sure that you attend. And, if any questions come up, you're also welcome to ask questions. And then I was so busy talking that I didn't check the chat, but you all are welcome to ask questions. If anybody has any, I'm here. I know that was a lot. Like I said, that was a lot, and the content is really dense. But again, the immediate actions or the things that we can do today in order to look out for, our future are here on this slide that says immediate actions. And you're welcome to take a screenshot of that or a photo of it if that is helpful to you. Yeah, you're welcome to put questions in the chat. The only other thing that I have to share with you all is that and this one is for both parents and seniors who are here and listening. This is, we're coming up on Thanksgiving and Thanksgiving break. And then after that, we will have our winter break, and there are holidays all around that. And this time of year, it can feel like time can feel kind of finite. And mostly because your lives and my life at this point a year ago, because I have a student who's a freshman in college, that our lives have looked one way for a very long time, where parents, you have been the parent, and students, you have been the child, and it's about to be different. And it's getting closer, and it is it's tough because we know that time is short. So I really hope that we can all of us are able to see one another with empathy. Students who are listening in here, you were once your parents' baby. Check this out. Here's where you get to see. This is my child, Everett. She graduated from Crosstown last year. She was once my little baby. So all of you seniors who are in here listening, and in this meeting, like, you guys were little. You see these little bitty babies. You guys were little, and like you're almost ready. You're almost ready. And there are going to be days, of course, like when you all don't feel that way, and it's scary, and it feels the same way for your parents. So I hope that everybody will be tender with one another and give one another grace. I always tell students, seniors, when they come in here and we talk about, what the challenges are, or where the sweetness is. Like I tell them, there were 2 times last year when I said some really mean things to my daughter, and I owned it. And I told her, I was like, I'm just scared. We just get scared. So, we just want to be kind and tender to one another and see one another with empathy, and enjoy these holidays together. So I'm really hopeful that you all have a lovely Thanksgiving. I can say that I am incredibly grateful for all of our seniors, for your children. They are works of art. So if there are any questions, you're welcome to unmute yourself or put them in the chat. Well, if you leave here and you think of anything else that you would like to ask, you're always welcome to email me. I usually put my email up on the screen, and I didn't. Well, I will put it in the chat. Please don't hesitate to reach out if questions come up. My door is open, and I'm so grateful to get to walk this path with your seniors. And I'm hopeful that you all will be safe and enjoy being with family or friends over the holidays. And again, my email's in the chat if you need it. Thank you all so much.